So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us. In our update today, as Tobago prepares for the upcoming Easter season, additional flights and sailing are expected to accommodate visitors. This was revealed by the Tobago House of Assembly Chief Secretary of Youth Empowerment and Sports. Now, during a press briefing on Sunday, so listen to this.
Easter in Tobago is always oversubscribed, and thankfully, with the relationship that we have with central government, they have given their commitment to ensuring that additional flights would be made available. We are currently in the process of seeing how best we can have our jet service the air bridge during that period, and so you can look forward to having additional flights.
So viewers, as efforts are being made to ensure that visitors can be accommodated by either sea or air, he explained that the Tobago House of Assembly has also been in discussion with the Port Authority.
Vessels ready for Easter. I know boats are currently undergoing repairs. Once those repairs are completed in time, they would be ready for Easter. If not, the Galleon's passage would also be available to take off some of the strain, but we are ensuring that everybody who wants to be here in Tobago would be able to come, whether by air or by sea. As an administration, we are mindful of the challenges that people face coming to the island, so we are trying our best to ensure that you have the smoothest possible experience in getting to the island.
So viewers, with all the bacchanal and the radar that is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, so here it is. Despite the removal of the U.S. military-grade radar in Tobago on Monday, as global tension affecting worldwide energy sector, the Trinidad and Tobago energy installation remains secure. The assurance was given by Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal while speaking to the media on Monday after iftar at the Debe Islamic Association Masjid. Now, as concerns grew amid the Middle East war, the minister said government has engaged with defense and energy companies. Listen to this.
I've met with Minister Sturge to discuss energy sector security. As you know, we have installations in the Gulf, we have installations offshore and onshore, critical energy installations, and I've been in touch with the major players in Trinidad and Tobago, including the multinational corporation, concerning their security measures and the state of readiness they are in terms of security threats and so on. And we are assured that all is in place to secure all our energy installations offshore in our maritime space and onshore.
So now viewers, the controversial ground and air task-oriented U.S. military-grade radar at the ANR Robertson International Airport in Crown Point is gone. Now the Prime Minister did say by March month the radar will be out of Trinidad and Tobago. She did say that. Now the U.S. Marine Corps C-3 OG aircraft arrived in Tobago shortly before noon today and collected the U.S. military radar from the ANR Robertson International Airport. The U.S. troops have been in Tobago since November last year, supervising the operation of the radar, which reportedly costed U.S. $3 million a day to run. Meanwhile, opposition leader Penelope Beckles is calling on the government to clarify the reason for the removal of the Tobago U.S. military radar. So Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this. All the time they're complaining about the radar in Tobago. Now Penelope Beckles wants clarification for the reason for the removal of the radar. So what it is the PNM really wants? I want to ask Penelope that. All I wanted the radar or all I didn't want the radar? Was a problem for the radar being in Tobago? No, they want a reason why the radar leave. Let me tell you something. Israel, hey, watch me now. They're really saying you cannot please a Trinidadian, you know. They really say that, you know. You're complaining about the radar in Tobago. Now you want a reason why the radar leave. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Is it that you want it or you don't want it? Hey, watch me now, boy. Hey, you look good, you know. You look real good. Speaking during a PNM public meeting held last evening at La Hocata, Beckles reiterating that the government claimed that the U.S. radar was a tool for crime detection and said the PNM wants the answer. Listen to this.
It was just a week ago that the Prime Minister said that the President of the United States was paying $3 million a day for the maintenance of that radar. You all heard that? So here it is. This radar that was going to help this government to detect crime, they take back the radar. You would never believe that there was a radar in Tobago. Let us wait and see what information they're going to give us about that radar.
But Penelope, your party, 1 minute tell you want it, 1 minute tell you don't want it. Or you couldn't even make up all your own mind. That's the sad thing about it. The twisting tongue. Now I remember when the PNM was, the Prime Minister was questioned as to how long the radar would be here, she did say by March, the radar would leave Tobago. She did say that. Call her good night.
Hi, good night, sir. Very good program as usual.
Thank you.
Just imagine this, and I was saying the same thing all the time. The opposition leader and them complaining about the radar, right?
Yes.
Why they bringing it here? We don't need that. We don't want that. No, all you're complaining because they move it now. All you want it back. You can't please them at all, at all, at all. You understand?
Yes.
Everything you do in this country, they don't like nothing good for this country. Always complaining. But it's gone back now. They vex. Let them stay vexed. They're to disadvantage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear. So 1 minute, how could the radar solve crime? Now the radar leave Tobago. They want an explanation now as to why the radar left Tobago. Hey, let me tell you something. Watch my eyes. A real bacchanal scene with PNM, you know. Some of the ministers really don't know what to comment again on. If you have nothing to say, just zip your mouth and fold your leg and stay quiet. It is that simple. Do not say something to make you look that stupid. Don't say anything. Who asked for the radar to be in Tobago? How much we had to pay for it? What's the purpose of the radar? Now the radar gone now. Well, I want a reason why the radar gone now. Why? Why? I don't know that. I don't know what to say again with the ministers. But nevertheless, we staying on Penelope. Penelope now is questioning the effectiveness of the current state of the emergency, which has recently extended by another 3 months in Parliament last week Friday. Speaking during a PNM public meeting held last evening in La Hocata, Beckles said, the government is repeating history. She drew reference from the 2011 when more than 8,000 persons were unlawfully taken into custody under a SOE by the UNC when they were in office. Listen to this.
So here it is, 2011, state of emergency, lock up 8,000 people, and less than probably just about 5% of those people, that was a situation where people were eventually charged. Very, very few convicted. But the taxpayers' money had to go to make sure that you pay the thousands of people that you locked up. Here again, Tetron, hundreds of people. They told you there were members of the judiciary that were being threatened, but yet still, nobody being charged. But they had all of this evidence.
But it was the same thing under the PNM. Nobody in charge. Everybody just release and go on their way. Beckles also called out Prime Minister for not sharing the benefit of her meeting with US President Donald Trump from the Shields of America Summit in March 2026, as well as her meeting with US Secretary Marco Rubio in September 2025. Here it is.
You go to the United States and you give this impression that when you come back here, you will have this great news, having met President Trump. You arrive in Trinidad, you say nothing to the press. You go to Parliament when you are supposed to be sharing with the public of Trinidad and Tobago what are the benefits you derive from that visit. And you start to talk about Balize House, and you start to talk about drug trafficking, and you start to talk about pedophile. They cannot show you one single benefit from those two visits.
As Beckles recalled that previous, the PNM Prime Minister had the opportunity to meet with former US President and officials. She said details of their meeting were shared with the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and wondered why Prasad Bisesa is not following. And Prasad Bisesa is on a different direction. Listen to this.
You can Google and see that Patrick Manning met with George Bush. You can Google and see that Dr. Keith Rowley met with Joe Biden. I mean, why would somebody say that they are the first prime minister in 50 years to meet a president, of the United States? Ask yourself. Why would you say that? When Mr. Manning went, he gave his press conference, he told you. Dr. Rowley told you. What is happening now?
So viewers, the Prime Minister did discuss some of the things that they had discussion on concerning oil, concerning gas, concerning security. I guess Beckles wasn't paying attention, but we aired some of the talks that they had. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, you know how it is. We are going for a short commercial break, viewers. But when we return, drivers can renew license 3 months before your expired date. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. For you. For you. For you.
Welcome back.
So viewers, drivers can now renew their license up to 3 months before the expiration date under the new change approved by the government. The Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation said the measure took effect today following an amendment to regulation under the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act. Previously, motorists could renew license only within 1 month of the expired date. The amendment introduced through legal notice number 48 of 2026 allows holders of a valid driver's license to renew up to 3 months in advance. The ministry said the change will provide greater convenience for the public, reduce last-minute renewal, and improve service efficiency. So Trinidad and Tobago, you don't have to wait until 1 month before your permit expire. You have 3 months. Up to 3 months. So hopefully you can get a reminder by getting a ticket. Hey, you know, your permit will expire in 2 months from now. You know, we have officers on the streets that when they hear police stop here in a routine check, they will look at the date of issued and the date of expiration and give you a little reminder. You know, sometimes we forget. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saieed. I want to congratulate our government in the steps, you know, to revive this economy. And in the first step, which I mean, among other steps, the reopening or the proposal to reopen, you know, Petrotrin, you know, that is a bold step. That is a great step. And once we could get the backing from the U.S., you know, to assess us in this field. So what I am saying, the outflow of foreign exchange.
Correct.
You know, the outflow for us to acquire the stuff that we are producing, it would stem that outflow. And simultaneously, you know, that would bring back foreign exchange that with this country so much need. With the influx back of foreign exchange, a lot of business is going to revive economy. This is a positive, and I am imploring our Honorable Prime Minister. You know, sugar carries a very, you know, hefty price on international market. You know, they could probably partner with somebody internationally if we could revive that industry as well. You know, all these are great things, you know. Now, people are complaining, sir, about rampant crime. Do you know crime is less than one a day? Do you realize that crime is less than one a day? So how people other than P&M operatives can come and say crime is rampant? Other than that, I don't know why, like, you know, certain media house like CNC3 is hell-bent to cooperate with the P&M to, you know, to battle. And again, sir, what is very, very disgusting and disturbing, we saw a former Prime Minister come in on air and keep a press conference, calling our Honorable Prime Minister certain names. This is disrespectful to our country, it's disrespectful. You imagine international people like President Trump admires our Prime Minister, and you have a man from here who destroyed that country for 10 years, come in and call our Prime Minister certain name. That is disrespectful. And then, you know, little children look at these programs, sir. When you have a former Prime Minister could criticize and call a low-down name to our Prime Minister. What does that tell our children, sir? It is his behavior. You remember in Parliament, he had thrown a cup at somebody. You remember he told a former minister, I think Dr. Munilal, are waiting for you on the pavement with a certain kind of shoe, sir. When would this man disrespect stop, sir? Our country is in a positive state. Let it continue to go. I don't know why they want to bring it down. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service hosted its annual interfaith service at the Queen's Hall Auditorium on Monday under its theme, Attitude of Gratitude. A message endorsed and relayed to the audience by Deputy Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin. Listen to this.
I want you to help me here, please. I don't know if you could just turn to the person next to you and just say thanks for coming. Just say thanks for coming. Yeah, it doesn't matter, you know. We're just glad that you're here. We're glad that you're here. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, I believe Benjamin is also a pastor. I want to believe that. Now, DCP Benjamin remind officers of the importance of gratitude. He drew reference from a story where a captured soldier who was believed to be dead was found alive and rescued. Listen to this.
They asked the question, how did you survive? And he said three things that surprised everyone. He said, first of all, it was not my training nor my equipment that made me survive. He said, one, I've learned that every single day I thank God for life. The second thing is that every day, at the end of the day, I thank God I made it through that day.
So viewers, as the event brought together officers and religious leaders from several denominations, a representative of the Muslim faith, Imam Asim Abdullah, stated that the police have been sent as a gift from God to ensure that society is safe. Commissioner of Police Alistair Gravero reinforced this view.
When I was about 5 or 6 years old, my neighbor was killed in a homicide. And the very first cry I heard come out from the neighbors was, "Oh God, call the police. Oh God, call the police." So you see where the police stands in alignment with societal norms. After they look to God, they now look to the police.
24 participants from the Caribbean are participating in a global outbreak, alert, and response network training program to strengthen the region capacity to detect, assess, and respond to emergency public health threats. The program is being conducted for 7 Caribbean public health agencies, CARFA members, states, including Trinidad and Tobago. Speaking at the opening ceremony on Monday, Health Minister Dr. Lakram welcomed the training and stressed the importance. Listen to this.
Participants will analyze the epidemiological data, adapt responsive strategies, produce situation reports, conduct risk assessments, and manage risk communication.
So viewers, the minister said the Caribbean continues to face an increasing risk from both emerging and re-emerging infectious disease. Bodo.
This program invests in preparedness, workforce deployment, surveillance, and laboratory systems. It is a testament to foresight, partnership, and shared responsibility.
Viewers, Mr. Bodo said the countries remain dedicated to regional health security and public health preparedness.
Trinidad and Tobago stands proudly as a partner in safeguarding the health of our communities and the wider Caribbean. As Minister of Health, I reaffirm Trinidad and Tobago's strong commitment to working hand in hand with our regional and international partners to safeguard the health of our people.
So switching gears a bit, viewers, despite calls for the resignation of the Children Authority, of Trinidad and Tobago management, the board said it refused to step down. During a press briefing on Sunday, Line Minister Vandana Mohan disclosed a $77 million liability at the agency and discovered that statutory deductions that were reportedly not remitted to the Board of Inland Revenue and the National Insurance Board of Trinidad and Tobago were taken from employees. Wow, listen to this.
You know, there are penalties for that when you deduct, but you don't pay it again. Millions. As at September 2025, 6 million plus for Board of Inland Revenue, BIR. National Insurance, 4 million plus and counting.
So Trinidad and Tobago, if money is taken out to pay NIS and BIR, my question is, if the Children Authority Board didn't pay this money, where is the money? Where is the money? Shouldn't the board step aside until the investigation is finished? Because you could tell me, according to Vandana, there millions of dollars supposed to be paid and is not being paid. So where is the money going? Where is the money going? Rightfully, if the investigation is continuing, well then the best next thing to do is for the board to step aside. That is the best thing to do. Now, in a news released on Sunday, Children Authority of Trinidad and Tobago said it was astounded by the minister's statement and claim that repeated requests for meetings with the ministry has gone unanswered. According to the release, the minister met with members or board members for approximately 5 minutes on February 6, 2026, after the board took disciplinary action related to the non-payment of statutory deduction on behalf of staff members. The board also said it routinely submitted reports confirming monthly minutes and other updates to the minister, including warning about ongoing financial constraints affecting the authority's operation. Meanwhile, Children Authority Chairman Marsha Bailey says the board has no interference or no intentions of resigning before the end of its term in October 2026 and will provide an additional release on the $77 million financial liability. Well, if the board is willing to bring documents and order papers of where the money went, all well and good. But to have $77 million missing, wow. That's a lot of money in Trinidad and Tobago. 77 million, you know. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual, and you're bringing all the topics to the citizens of the country, all the corrupt practices. But you know what is sad? Not one person will be charged for this mismanagement of the funds of the citizen funds. Not one person will be charged or brought before a court. Since 2015, 2010 to 2015, live sports, $430 million gone missing. Whisk away. Nobody charged. Nobody brought before a court. One person was charged, and you know what? They charge them $600 or $6,000 or something like that, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
We have police in Princeton. We always talk about Princeton police. 4 of them on suspension for misbehavior in public office. You know what's going to happen? You know what's very sad? Not one of them they will charge them, but not one of them will be dismissed from the service because they're getting full pay.
Correct.
And to the citizen of this country who said to highlight it in this on your program, that radar serve us no purpose. The citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, the security of Trinidad and Tobago, that radar that gone served this country not one jot of a purpose, it's just smaller than a dot. It served and served the interest of the United States authority. End the story with that. And to Roger Alexander, who talk about GGG, guns, girls, and gold. Roger Alexander, what advice you have to give, boy? What suggestion you have to give to better that or change it? You know everything in this country is governed by politics, boy. The crime is politics connected to it. And the police service, the water that we can get is connected to politics. Roger Alexander, you know that? And you have the other partner there, the defense minister now, he talking about corruption. Everything comes out from that man's mouth is what goes into the lavas. And you know why he could do this? He's singing for his supper. He already promised to be given senior counsel. And all the lawyers there already calling each other senior counsel in the room, including Saddam Hussein and all of them. They will become senior counsel very soon. That is their interest and not the interest of the citizens of this country. Mr. Said, you are the only person seeking the interest of this country and the citizens of this country. You are the only person doing it. God will richly bless you. Keep up the great work you are doing, Mr. Said. God bless you and your staff.
Thank you, my friend. Viewers, we're going for a break, but we'll be right back after this.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
of Health, Dr. Lakram Bodo, has announced that the central block of the Port of Spain General Hospital is set to reopen again on June 30th, 2026. Dr. Bodo said, the revised timeline follows several challenges identified during ongoing construction work at the facility managed by UDCOT. Listen to this.
So the new UDCOT board under Minister of Works and Transport, Gillian John, continues to work on that facility. Many challenges have been experienced. Of course, I think these would have been explained to the media through newspaper articles and so on, and therefore the new opening date has been shifted to June 30th, 2026. The Ministry of Health continues to work with UDCOT closely to try and ensure that we overcome those challenges that were outlined.
So viewers, the hospital central block. The project was first approved in 2017 under the previous administration. Dr. Bodo said in March 2025, just ahead of the general election, the public was told that the project had reached practical completion. This, he said, did not reflect the reality of the facility at that time.
Behold, on March 10, you will recall, March 10, 2025, on the throes of a general election, we were told about a practical completion of the central block. Of course, the population got excited, but what it turned out to be really was that this was just an election show. Just one floor was used for, for the viewing public and so on.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I believe that same central block was opened under the previous administration by Terence Ali. That was just before election, I believe, and Dr. Rowley opened the Tobago. So imagine viewers, this central block that was opened by Terence Ali under PNM administration as health minister, now that same block, Trinidad and Tobago, is going to be reopened again. Imagine that, one block opening 2 times. 2 times, one block opening. Remember when Terence Ali said the building was ready, we opened it in the public domain, we saw the opening, some fancy thing, but in reality, video footage emerged and showing a different reality of the building. Remember that, Trinidad and Tobago? Remember that? We aired the story. All sorts of different pictures and videos and things was surfacing. So now, according to Lakram Bodo, the block, central block, is going to be open again. Again. But nevertheless, viewers, this time we are going to see if the block needs additional work again. Like Terence said, it didn't need no work, it good. The reopening is set for June 30th, 2026. Let's hope this time it is really opening for the public and not just a mama guy or a mouth say. Remember that, viewers. So, switching gears a bit. Director of Policies and Community Support Office in the Ministry of Homeland Security, Saieed Ali, has stated that Trinidad and Tobago cannot shoot its way out of the situation where crime and criminality is concerned. He said, years of enforcement, heavy response have failed to address the root cause of violence, particularly among vulnerable youths.
Recognize that you cannot shoot your way out of the situation where crime and criminality is concerned. It's a very demanding, challenging situation. But when we looked at it, we recognized there was an urgent need for at least one of the ministries who has the ultimate responsibility for crime and criminality to take that step to have engagements with very key stakeholders.
So viewers, we need to ask the question, what causes crime? What causes crime? When you hold an individual for crime and you put him behind bars, he serves his time behind bars. When he comes out, where does he go from there? Where does he go from there? In the first place, why you commit the crime? That is the first thing in the first place. Why? But then again, we have some seasoned criminal in Trinidad and Tobago just don't know where to stop. They just don't know where to stop, when to stop, how to stop. And that's why you see when you hear the police gun down some mothers, good children, they just want to blame the police. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, that is our problem. Why you commit the act? What caused you to commit the act? Now that the act is committed, what is the rehabilitation process? Rehabilitation process for some of them is going back into crime, and then you end up with a TTPS bullet, some part of your body. In a morgue, parents come to identify the good son. But nevertheless, this is the reality. Now, viewers, Ali was speaking following a recent National Multi-Sector Symposium that brought together psychologists, educators, health officials, social workers, and the police to rethink crime prevention strategies. A central theme of the discussion, he said, was the statue. Due to threat, violence, as symptoms of deeper psychological and social harm. Listen to this.
There was a clear expression of the importance of the right to health. And the right to health, looking at the state's responsibility to fulfill that right to health. So when we spoke about the biopsychosocial context, looking at crime and criminality from that context, immediately you are looking at the human being. And, you know, can I link it? The ocelot that we saw a while ago, you saw the efforts that doctors and experts were applying to ensure that an animal recovered. And I need to make this comparison. Our human beings, our vulnerable youths, they are injured in different ways.
So viewers, I just want to highlight an issue by a judge, a High Court judge, Justice Frank C. Prasad. Now listen to this, listen to this. The High Court has ordered the Teaching Service Commission to disclose key document to a secondary school teacher who sought information about allegations that he was absent from work without leaves. In a strongly worded judgment,
and that it would be premature
Justice
to
Frank C.
disclose the
Prasad criticized what he described as an antiquated approach by public authorities and emphasized that transparency and fairness requires the individual be informed of the allegation made against him. Now, viewers, I'll tell you something. If a teacher go on leave, it has had to be required leave. Send a letter to the ministry, let them know you're taking your leaves, and they approves it. But if you go on leaves that wasn't authorized, it could be a sick leave. But now this teacher apparently has the Service Commission, Teaching Service Commission in court. And they are saying that he took leaves. And all he wants is proof of the leave. That is all. Sometimes there are other individuals who ends up before the court for things they did not do. So before you end up in front of court, know the do's and the don'ts. Don't just accuse somebody just so. Defendants have a right to know what they are going to court to defend before they actually reach in the court. You know, sometimes I just wonder, what caused us to be here? What is the cause of us being here? Communication? Lack of understanding? I will tell you this. You see, communicating, if we understand this, we would know why we are someplace. Let me drop a little incident that happened to me recently. Remember when the Range Rover got burned down? Now, a lot of people called me A lot of people message me. You see, knowledge is power, you know. Knowledge is power, you know. A lot of people said to me, Saieed, you just do spiritual work, you're a voodoo man, you're seeing things, you're hearing things. How you didn't see a Range Rover going to get burned down? So I was like, wait boy, these people have to be some clown. These people have to be some clown. You would never feel the heat of the kitchen unless you are in the kitchen. Now, I was born to do spiritual work, born spiritually gifted, started this work a very long time, and let me say this. For the people who do not understand the spiritual world, apparently they just don't understand the physical world neither. You see, Jesus knew Judas was going to betray him and said nothing. And said nothing. When Judas was about to betray Jesus, then Jesus told him. Then Jesus told him what he actually going to do. But Jesus knew. Sometimes you might get a dream or something going to happen, and you just can't prevent it. Because God did not give you the willpower to prevent it. So for those of you who wanted to label me, oh, Saieed is a seer man, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing the next, and you couldn't stop this from happening. I'm going to tell you something. The breeze is blowing all directions. We know the breeze is blowing, but yet we cannot stop the breeze from blowing. That's common sense. That is common sense. You know why? Because the way human being hate another human being, if they had access to stop you from inhaling that breeze, that breath, they would have do it. That is common sense for you. Jesus knew Judas was going to betray him and said nothing until the appointed time reached when Jesus would open his mouth. Yeah? So for all the people who say inside, you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that and you couldn't do the next, ask yourself, why you ain't better? Why are you not in a better position than you are in presently? And God knows what you want. Ask yourself that. Instead of condemning me, ask yourself, why are you not in a better position than you are in presently? And you're praying since the day you're born. You're praying since you know to pray. Since your mother teaches you to pray, you're praying. And you're still in the same situation. Yeah? Since I learned to pray, I pray every single day. I pray for my business, I pray for my children, I pray for foreign business, I pray for I didn't even pray for people to come and do spirit work too. I'm telling you. People can say, oh, Saieed, you prayed for that? Yes, a funeral man is praying for people that dead so he go get business. Call me and tell me a lie. You had 10 minutes to call me and tell me a lie. The barman is praying for people to come and buy alcohol in his business so he could save money to buy a Benz. Yeah? So you see, there's a reason why I said lack of knowledge is doomed there for you. Lack of knowledge is doomed there. Saieed, but you couldn't stop your Range Rover from burning down. You know this, you know that, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're seeing for everybody, but you can't see for yourself. Oh, trust me, I saw it. I saw it. I saw it. But to do something, can't do anything about it. You want to know why? Pull back up the video when the Range Rover is being burned down. I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes you just have to understand life, you know. Sometimes you just have to understand why something happened to you. Yes, I made a loss of 700,000. I made a loss. No, the one with the guy being burnt up. Fast forward. Trinidad and Tobago, pay attention. Pay attention to this individual who's scratching this match. You see how that gas blow back in his face? That flame blow back on his face? Come back to me, director. You see Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes, oh, Saieed, you see it for everybody. You didn't see this? I saw it, but I couldn't do nothing. I didn't tell him to come there. I didn't tell the man to scratch him much on that fire blew back in his face. That was his punishment for committing that act. Oh, you seen everything and you can't see about that. Jesus knew Judas was going to put him on a cross too. He knew that too. Yeah? What happened after? When Judas lied. So instead of judging me, ask yourself if God forgave Judas. Ask yourself that. Let me tell you something. Life is something you have to understand. You have to understand the position you're in. You have to understand why you're begging God for opportunity and you ain't get it yet. It was unfortunate that I had to lose a Range Rover, something that I had for 3 years. For 3 years. Another thing. You're healthy. You're going in the gym. All kind of supplement you're taking. You're working, you're doing your work, you see about your family, you're going to the gym and boom, you fall down with a heart attack. And every day you're in the gym. Every day. Doctor say you're healthy. Boom, shot, you got a heart attack. Healthy man with a heart attack. You see, this is incidents in life that nobody could stop. So since the incident happened with the Range Rover, I sat back. Yes, it hurt. You know it is the loss, $700,000. It's a pain. It's a pain. It's a serious loss. That's 300,000 less $1 million right there, you know. Less $1 million, you know. I had to say this tonight in order for the ones who do not understand the circumstances that happens in life. Yes, I do see and hear. My job is to know things. That's the gift God gave me. My job is to know things. My job is to read out people. I have a gift. I'm born with that. I can't take it out on the table and rest it there when I come into studio. I can't take it out and rest it there when I'm playing with my Sharon and them. I can't take out the gift and rest it down when I'm flying out to New York or when I go in Dubai. No. It goes with me. It came with me and it will live with me. So I had to say this tonight for the people who do not understand. It's sad, you know, how people judge in Trinidad and Tobago. And around the world, it's sad how we human beings judge one another. That is why God gave you a choice to do good or do bad. The only power you hold is the choices you made. That is the only power human being is hold. The choice you make. Other than that, you have no power. And I will say that. Even me, even though I do spiritual work, when time to do something is my choice. When they made an attempt to kidnap my son, was my choice. You came at my son. So my thing was to defend. I defended. If it didn't come at me, I would not come at you. So for the people who say, no, Saeed, you're doing spirit work and you couldn't see this and you couldn't see that and you couldn't see the next. Jesus knew what Judas was going to do, but did not say anything. He didn't say anything. But Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. In situations, you mustn't judge. You mustn't judge. I learned that from young. Don't judge. And people around me with no side is a man don't judge nobody. Sad, eh? Sad, eh? But nevertheless, this is Trinidad. We are human beings. It's just we need to understand the cycles of life. And when you understand that, you will come to the realization that the devil has power. I didn't send those guys. I didn't. You think the guy who light the fire, you think he happy his whole face burn up? But that's the outcome. That is the outcome. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, one thing we had to do is learn not to judge. The incident happened, but a strong man is subject to get a heart attack and fall down and die. And that's it. Collapse. Everybody will say he healthy and he healthy and he healthy and he's strong and he's taking the doctor checkup and he in the gym. But it's the reality. An incident happened to me because I am brave enough. But it's the reality. Never let Trinidad and Tobago. Never take God out of your thoughts. Never do that. So that's why when people come at me, I don't hesitate. I will go right back at you. But I just do it differently. And that's the thing with me. I do things differently. I was given the gift to do spiritual work. And I does it differently. Who told the guy to come at the Range Rover? Look what he get. Whole face burn up. That was his punishment for coming at me. But this is the reality. This is the reality. So Trinidad and Tobago, don't judge. You never know what could happen to you. So viewers, it's that time I must say good night. And until we meet again, be safe.